This new 4K Steelbook release of Drag Me to Hell just came out this month. I went and picked it up. It's a Walmart exclusive. And today we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about the artwork. We're going to talk about the special features. And we're going to do a side-by-side comparison with the DVD. I'm super excited to get into this. So let's do it. Welcome back to the Ecto-Violence channel. My name is Alec. Today, we're talking Drag Me to Hell. Specifically, the new 4K Steelbook from Shout that's available at Walmart now. Later on in the video, we're going to do a side-by-side comparison with the DVD. You don't want to miss that, trust me. So let's talk about this 4K Steelbook. First of all, this is a previous release. I believe it came out a couple years ago. Shout put it out. It has all the same special features, so the discs and the content themselves are not new. However, I did just get this because I didn't have it yet, and they came out with a Steelbook. And I'm going to put the artwork up on the screen so you can really get a good look at this, but a lot of people are not a fan of this artwork. I personally don't mind it too much. The worst part about it to me is that it spoils literally like the last 10 seconds of the movie. And, you know, I get it. The movie's called Drag Me to Hell. I will say, this is a damaged copy. Now, I couldn't tell because it came with the little J card over it. That's what I was buying, you know? But then when I took that off, I realized you can probably see just how dented that is. The thing is, I'm not a stickler enough that I really care. I'm just happy the discs weren't broken or anything. But while we're here, let's talk about the special features, right? New 4K scan from the original film negative approved by director Sam Raimi and editor Bob Murawski. Presented in Dolby Vision. That's disc 1, 4K. Disc 2, Blu-ray. New 4K scan, etc. New, Pardon My Curse, Making Drag Me to Hell, extensive behind-the-scenes documentary featuring new and archival interviews with co-writer, producer Ivan Raimi, actors Alison Lohman, Dilip Rao, and Lorna River. Director of photography Peter Deming, production designer Steve Saklad. And disc 3, we have the theatrical version, To Hell and Back, interview with Alison Lohman, Curses, interview with Lorna Raver, Hitting All the Right Notes, interview with Christopher Young. Production video diaries featuring behind-the-scenes footage and interviews with Sam Raimi, actors Alison Lohman and Justin Long, and more. Vintage interviews, TV spots, image gallery, theatrical trailer. So just the special features alone, if you're a big fan of this movie, make the 4K worth it. Whether or not the Steelbook is your thing or not, that's a whole nother story. That is the back of the artwork. It's not bad as well, but it is dented, so it's kind of like eh. The DVD that we're going to be taking a look at here is the unrated director's cut. 2 versions included, unrated and theatrical, just like in the new 4K. However, the scans are brand new in that. The only special feature listed on the back of here is production video diaries. So I guess the fact that it has 2 versions of the movie just made it so they couldn't put a ton of special features on here. Anyway, let's get into this side by side. Alright, so here we are with the Drag Me to Hell DVD versus 4K UHD Blu-ray comparison. You'll immediately notice the color differences. You'll also notice there is a little bit more frame here on the 4K, on the left and the right sides. This I use a captured card for. This was the 4K TV in my living room. So take that into account when we're watching this. This was done through a capture card, and this was not. Not to mention, we all have different TVs, we all have different settings. Obviously this stuff's getting compressed when I put it on YouTube, so there's all sorts of stuff to consider. But overall, I'm very interested in looking at these side-by-sides. So let's just stop right here before we even get any further and look at the skin tones here. I mean, obviously this is a DVD, so it's fuzzier by nature, right? It doesn't look terrible. It's a 2009 DVD. It's a new movie at the time, too. It's not an old movie getting put on DVD, so it just, you know, it has a lot going for it. But when you compare this skin tone to this looks like a human. This looks like human flesh right here. It looks real. And not to mention, obviously, the definition and everything. I actually think the definition in this movie looks great. The 4K is excellent. Let's move along a little bit here. So, again, you'll notice there's skin tones. Like, this is much darker. This is much more vibrant. And you get a lot of that with 4Ks. Sometimes it feels like the saturation is turned fucking all the way up, and it can look quite ridiculous depending on the movie. And sometimes they do this, a bunch of 4K, like AI upscaling and stuff. They didn't do it on this. It looks great. There's no smoothing and weird crap going on. You know, this is like probably my favorite PG-13 horror movie. And obviously we're looking actually at clips from the unrated versions, but when it was theatrically released, it was a PG-13 movie. And I really love this movie in general. It's 16 years old now. It's crazy to think. In this one, you can't even make out that there's a blue sky back there. You're just kind of like, all right, it's a window. So she gives him this coin. Let's take a look at okay. Again, this is a good one to see for the definition. Look at that coin. And maybe it might not look crazy different for you, at least the definition. Especially if you're watching this on like your phone or something, but like, and the coloring, again, this looks like human flesh. This doesn't look off until I look over here and I'm like, wait. I think the contrast and saturation both look better. Like, look at this. Just the colors in her office. The pink, the blues on the wall there. Her skin, she looks like she has blood. She does not over here have blood in her. Again, look at this. Look at the trees and the blue out there. You're not going to think this looks bad until you look over here. And then, by then, I feel like if you're looking at both of these like we are now, some people might even still be like, nah, that's too vibrant. Especially for, you know, a horror movie or whatever. I mean, given this is an office scene, and we'll get to some of the more horror scenes in a minute, but, you know, I want to start with some more easy context, something to compare, and these scenes looked wildly different, so that's where I started. But let's go to the next. All right. Look how gnarly this is. Again, this is way darker. Maybe the skin tone kind of matches for the vibe of this character a little more here, but the nails still are what's doing it for you. And again, because it's DVD to 4K, obviously it looks better, just in terms of compression and all that stuff. But look at that. In these daylight scenes, I think this stuff just looks way better. This looks like a bank during the day. And like the blues and the reds here, man, look at that. You can see this guy's shirt's purple. You can't even make that out over here. Just it's all muddy. Purple and green over here is the Joker. I decided to do the DVD comparing to the 4K instead of the Blu-ray because it's just what I had. I never upgraded to Blu-ray. But I gotta say, man, look at this. You can't deny this one. 4K is where it's at for this release. Okay, so here, maybe you could argue that the dark looks better in horror scenes like this. It still has creepy vibes. The color's a little more blue than as opposed to green feeling on the left. Of course, we have the Evil Dead car. This little floating handkerchief looks so much better on DVD too when it's on 4K. I will say that some of the effects that are CG in this occasionally look like bonkers on 4K. Okay, so again, I could see you arguing that this looks better. Doesn't look bad. I could see you arguing that it's scarier too because of how dark it is. You can see less of her features. But this is deranged looking, right? I'm not crazy. This looks awesome. Now, stuff like this, it does look a little washed out here. As opposed to here, it looks a little... You can tell what we're looking at fully. There is a little bit of an element there that's a little... Okay, so next scene, the fortune teller. This is one of those great examples. I like stuff like this because DVD to 4K, right? And Blu-ray kind of does the same thing where you're going to be able to actually make stuff out a lot better. But look at how much more vibrant just the color of his pants in this card here. Look at this. It's muddy as hell. Alright, so the fortune telling scene. Again, nothing revolutionary here, but it looks better. It's some of the subtle stuff here. Like, look at her coat and look at how much more texture you can see on her coat. Look at the hair. Like, you can see more individual hair strands and things. Again, 4K, man, the colors just tend to look great when they do it right. Okay, another scene here. Again, I think some people might like the DVD's colors better. But me, I'm going to say it right here. The 4K, I think, is stronger. So let's start. All right, right away. What do you think? I mean, that's wildly different coloring. Look at that. The green, the blue. Also, it seems brighter. Again, the DVD is a lot darker and muddied. Again, it's horror. I don't know. But I think she looks great here. Look at that. She's terrifying. Here you go. This is a great shot too. Like, do the colors seem turned up? Yeah. But look at this shot. It's more bland. It all comes down to, I guess, personal preference. I like weird lighting. Like this, the blue stuff, the reds, you know. I like giallo horror, so. And this scene is just amazing too. Look at her. Look at how wild that color difference is. Again, maybe if we were jumping to Blu-ray to 4K, it wouldn't look different. Or from DVD to Blu-ray, I don't know. But this is what we are looking at right now. And to some degree, because of how this is recorded, blacks will sometimes look like really dark blues. So that's something to keep in mind as I'm doing this. Again, it comes down to muddy greens versus bright blues when we're looking at these. Okay, this is another shot where you can really tell the differences. That's a belligerently wild and different shot. That's an entirely fucking different movie. This is a director-approved 4K scan of the original DI negative, though. This is compressed down to DVD, 720p. You know, these are things to take into account. Sure, this looks a little more natural, but this is a supernatural movie, and it's a supernatural scene. One of the funniest parts of the movie when she puts her hand on the goat and the goat goes wild, bro. I do think that the goat looks scarier in the darkness. Look at the way the eyes look over here. Compared to here, he looks a little more friendly. This goat is demonic as hell. This goat looks pretty noble, like he might have Patrick Stewart's voice or something. This goat does not. So did the saturation just go crazy in the original movie and not so much on DVDs? I don't know. I really don't know. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on it, though. What a beautiful goat man demon. And then we've got the infamous train scene. Man, just look at that blue of that train and tell me you think the DVD looks better. I mean, this shot is great and interesting for multiple reasons. Because we're looking at DVD to 4K yet again, the definition increase is insane. You can see her pores. That's insane. You can see the actual color of her eyes. Her skin looks a normal color. Again, you know what I mean? Like, this is one of those ones I don't see how anyone could say that the DVD looks better. Maybe in the dark scenes if they prefer that, but like, this is interesting. Look how white this is back here. Look how blue it is here. Look how much bluer her coat is on this version. I just watched this movie, and then watched a bunch more clips recording it, and I still want to watch it again. Big fan of this one. Big fan of Sam Raimi, and since these are all in movement, it's a little bit hard to see what's going on, but let's get a good still here. They're like off by 1 frame, sorry guys. But just look at the color differences. I feel like you can see in his eyes that he's actually like crying and shit here way better too. Like, I don't know. Well, that was Drag Me to Hell DVD versus 4K. Let me know what you think in the comments below, which looked better. And if you like this video, be sure to check out this one and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.